Okay, I believe we can start right now. So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on how to apply to the widerAdvance facility. My name is Marika Kowalska, and I'm speaking to you on behalf of the Institute of Fundamental Technological Research of Polish Academy of Sciences, which coordinates the widerAdvance facility project. And we are very happy to see the interest in this initiative. The widerAdvance facility, funded under Horizon Europe Wider program, was created to help organizations from widening countries and outermost regions strengthen their capacity to disseminate, exploit, and valorize the research results, and ultimately increase their impact in Europe and beyond. So today's session will guide you through the application process, but it will also provide a broader overview of what the facility offers and how it can support your organization. And it is my pleasure now to hand over to Lorenzo Barabani from Meta Group, one of our key partners, and who will walk you through the details and answer questions later on. So if you have questions, you can write it on chat or, raise hands and we'll answer it at the end. So Lorenzo, the floor is yours right now.
Thank you very much, Marika, for the introduction, and good morning to everyone. Let's start with the presentation. So, first of all, let me introduce myself. I am Lorenzo Barabani from Meta Group. Meta Group is one of the partners of the widerAdvance facility. We are responsible for the coordination of some services provided within the facility, and we are also responsible for the management of the application process. This is why I'm here to better explain you how to benefit the most from the services offered by the widerAdvance facility. So today, agenda, next slide, please. Today agenda will cover some topics which we will start by just very quickly see which are the objectives of the widerAdvance facility. Then I will also give you a bit more details about how the open call works, the process of application. We will go through the application form itself that is used to submit applications, and I will also finally give you a few indications about what happens after the submission of your application. So to give you a complete look at the whole process. So let's start with the objectives. It's important to focus on this aspect because in some cases we already launched the open call. We already received some applications, but as we will see later, in some cases there were misunderstandings about the overall objectives of the facility itself. So this is why we included some slides to clarify what is the overall scope of the facility itself. The widerAdvance facility is a project funded by the European Commission, started in January 2025, and will last until December 2028. There are 17 implementing partners, and the overall objective of the facility is to improve skills and capacities of organizations based in widening countries and outermost regions. So this is a crucial element Here we are talking about organizations. So universities, research centers, so those who are participating to the widening projects. The improvement of skills and capacities has a specific topic: exploitation and dissemination. These are two elements, key elements, which are needed to valorize the knowledge and the results obtained through research projects and to generate an impact out of the research activities that are carried out within your organizations. Next slide, please. More in particular, which are the more specific objectives of the facility? We aim to improve your exploitation dissemination strategies for your key exploitable results. Key exploitable results generated within an organization. We will see later on also what is a key exploitable result. We aim also to increase the visibility of your organization. There are also services, especially events, with the participation of key stakeholders, innovation stakeholders, during which you can increase your visibility as an organization. Another important objective is that this facility can be seen as a kind of learning experience from by experts, by personnel of your organization, because our experts will make available tools and methodologies to better address dissemination and exploitation activities. Next slide, please. Now, here this slide just gives you a picture about the overall dimension of the facility. So our aim is to support more than 1,000 organizations in general through all the services. More in particular, there are specific services which we call individualized services dedicated to these beneficiaries, to organizations, which are the dissemination exploitation academies, pitching services, support on standardization, support on intellectual assets, intellectual property, etc. So here, in a nutshell, you see how many activities we are planning to do. And as I anticipated a bit, for example, you can see we are aiming to organize more than 20 events for study visits in this period of the widerAdvance facility. Next. Now, so why to apply to the facility? You as your organization, you as an organization can receive benefits from different, let's say, angles, I would say. You can receive individualized support, so individualized plans. Through the application form, we will try to understand what are your needs, and we will try to tailor the most suitable services based on what is your state of the art. You will get staff trained on dissemination exploitation topics. If you perform particularly well, you can also be coached on how to access follow-up funding for your key exploitable results. We will offer opportunities through the events to meet industry, investors, other relevant partners, innovation stakeholders that are somehow key for exploitation dissemination of your activities. And obviously, the facility can also be used to promote your achievements. If you're particularly performing well in some activities, the facility can be used to promote your organization in general. Next slide, please. This is more or less the complete package of services. As you can see, we identified three main streams of services: individual support, online services, and opportunities follow-up actions. Individual support are the ones that we will better target in the following slides because they need an application to be submitted. Otherwise, you cannot benefit from these services. This individual support consists of four typologies of services: the Dissemination Exploitation Academy, the Intellectual Property support, support with standardization, and the how to pitch. You submit your application, we will assess it, we will try to tailor the services based on your needs, and then you will start receiving the advice and the support from our experts. At the end of each service, you will also receive a report from such experts about your achievements. Then we have the online services, which are basically webinars and trainings. Also, these services require registration. They don't require an application to be submitted. You can register on the platform and you can participate to our trainings and webinars. Opportunities and follow-up, most of them are accessible only after successful completion of some of the individual services. For example, we organize study visits to give the opportunity to organization and see how better performing organizations are dealing with dissemination and exploitation issues. We organize matchmaking events with different sessions, also pitching sessions with investors. We, as I anticipated, we organize coaching on follow-up funding, and we also give access to best practices. This is the overall picture of what you can receive from the facility. I wouldn't spend too much time on this. This is basically better specifies each service they already explained and presented in the previous slide. So maybe we can quickly go through this slide and go to the open call. As I anticipated, we access to individualized services have to go through an open call, through an application session. So we launched an open call, and you can submit your application through our website, which is www.widerAdvance.eu. Please, next slide. So this call is, we have a unique call, which is structured in different cutoffs. We foresee at the moment 12 cutoff dates. This gives us the opportunity to collect a certain number of applications and then assess them and then start services accordingly. The open call was launched on the 28th of May, 2025. And as I said, it will remain open for the whole duration of the facility. Next cutoffs, the first cutoff was on the 31st of July. The next cutoff is on the 31st of October. And the next one is on the 31st of January. So as you can see, we plan to have a cutoff more or less every 3 months. So potential applicants can decide to apply whenever they want, and the maximum they have to wait for the results of an application is 3 months. So as you can see, you will receive a feedback quite soon. Now, who can apply? Application is open to organizations, so not to individuals. When you submit your application, you always have to specify your organization, the organization you are part of. Because the applicant, so the person who physically submits the application, in that moment, when submitting the application, represents the whole organization, the whole university, the whole research center, or whatever the organization is. The only eligibility, or one of the few, let's say, eligibility criteria we have is that the organization who applies has to be based in one of the widening countries. You can easily find on the web which are the widening countries, including the outermost regions, who are eligible. And then after this, besides this eligibility criteria, there are some priorities. When you submit your application, we have to check not only eligibility criteria, but also selection criteria. And some priorities on eligibility criteria can be decided at each cutoff date. So we can also decide to modify a bit or to prioritize some typologies of applicants based on the applications that we receive at each cutoff date. At a certain point, we can decide to prioritize certain typologies of organizations or organizations coming from certain countries. So it's decided case by case at each cutoff, but obviously all these priorities are always specified in the website, so you will always know which are the current priorities. Who can receive support? We said the application has to be submitted as an organization, but then the people who are receiving the services are basically two typologies of beneficiaries: research teams and what we call research and administration managers. Research teams, easy to understand, they are those who are delivering, implementing the research activities. So those who are somehow responsible for a key exploitable result, coming directly or indirectly from a widening action. And we will talk a bit better about this once we see the application form. Research and administration managers are staff of the organization who are dealing with dissemination and exploitation within their organization. So we want to also to build skills and capacities of these typologies of people, because they are an important element within an organization to increase the overall capacities and skills of an organization. Next slide. For the next cutoff, which is the 31st of October, these are the priorities. So once we check the eligibility and we have to select applicants, generally we prioritize applications who presented the highest number of key exploitable results. The key exploitable results that you present should cover or should be included in one of these priority domains, so health, culture and inclusive society, civil security, digital and space, climate and mobility, food and environment. So as you can see, the domains are very large, and it's easy to match. We will prioritize most mature key exploitable results that we are assessing through a particular tool called Exploitation Intention Tables. We will have a look at this in a few slides. Finally, one of the criteria to select applicants is also keeping in mind optimization of resources that we have available. So obviously, as you can easily understand, being the facility a project, we have a certain budget to be spent and to be used, and we want always, our objective is to always maximize the use of the resources that we have available to obviously provide the highest level possible of services to the highest number possible of applicants. As I anticipated, any change on the priorities is specified on the website. Other selection criteria that can be applied, probably, maybe, not sure, in the future, can be geographical balance across widening countries. So, for example, we can decide to limit the number of applicants per country at a certain point. Obviously, we cannot, for example, support only organization coming from the same country, let's say Poland rather than Greece. Our objective is to diversify, if possible, the organizations coming from different countries. One of the criteria that we set, which is already valid, is that at the moment, at each cutoff date, an organization can submit only one application. So you cannot submit, or better, you can submit more than one application, but only one will be selected. So one selected application per organization at each cutoff. Then we will, following the previous criterion, so trying to serve and support the highest number of organizations possible. Obviously, if an organization has been selected, already received support, in theory, that organization can submit another application in a future cutoff. But in that case, our assessment process will check if that organization already received the service. If we see that that organization already received the service, then obviously we will prioritize other organizations before selecting again organization who already received support. Right? Now, let's have a look at how to apply, how to submit an application. This is the link that you have to use to submit, to access the application form and to submit an application, www.platform.widerAdvance.eu. When you click on the apply button here on the right side of the slide, you see how the website, the platform looks like. You see there is the apply button in more than one part of the website. When you click on the apply button, first of all, you will be required to register yourself to the platform. So you will be required to register and to confirm your registration. This allows you to start an application, stop the application process anytime, and resume your application anytime you want. You have time to complete the application by, you have just to access the platform through your username and your password. You can complete your application form anytime. We accept only applications in English. If you miss a cutoff of a big issue, it doesn't mean that your application will be discarded. It means that your application will be evaluated at the next cutoff date. If you have any issue, technical issue, or question on related to the application, you can always contact our support email, which is contact@wideradvance.eu. Right? And then once you entered or you registered and you entered the platform, you have to submit your application. You have to fill in your application form. And let's have a look at how it looks like. This is the first page you will see, which is an introductory page telling you what are the different parts, which are the different parts of the application form. It's 3 sections with general information, information on key exploitable results, and information on research manager and research management administration. Here you see a couple of alerts, just telling what I already told you. The only additional information is that when you want to submit your application, don't forget to click on the submit button. Otherwise, your application is not submitted. Next slide. So this is the section 1, general information. As I told you, you are applying as an organization, representing your entire organization. So this is why we ask information about your organization, like the PIC number. It's not compulsory, but we strongly recommend to include here your PIC number so that we can have easy access to the information of your organization through the European Commission portal. You are required to write down the full name of your organization, the country or region where the organization is based. Here in the drop-down menu, you will also only find eligible countries and regions, so you have to specify one of them. You have to write the organization website, especially if you haven't provided your PIC number, please provide at least your organization website. And then finally, you should provide a contact person for your organization. This person is the one who will be contacted for during the evaluation process, the assessment process, to go on with the selection procedure and to start the services, the delivery of the services. Okay, so you can also include more than one. If I'm not wrong, you are allowed to provide up to two contact persons. Then, section 2, once you provided the general information, you will be asked to start providing information about your key exploitable results. So the ones that you would like to be supported, the key exploitable results that you would like to be supported. Here, this form allows you to add as many key exploitable results that you want. You should pay attention that for each key exploitable result that you provide, you need also to provide a contact person for that key exploitable result, which in theory is the researcher or researcher, one of the researchers that is responsible for that key exploitable result, who worked on that key exploitable result. And then you will be required to specify also the link of the care of the key exploitable result with a widening action, because as an eligibility rule, we are supporting only key exploitable results that come from widening action. You can easily find what we consider widening action. So in the website, it's specified what is a widening action. To add cares is just a matter of clicking on the Add Care button. And let's see what happens when you click on that care. Before that, what is a key exploitable result? This is something that created some problems with the applications we received. There is a specific definition for key exploitable result at a European level, which is it's what you see here. It's a significant output, innovation, technological, scientific advancement developed by beneficiaries of widening action under Horizon 2020 or Horizon Europe. Key exploitable results are, include the broad range of results. So you don't have to think only at technologies. Also, scientific advancement, a scientific result can be a key exploitable result. So key exploitable results are those results that can lead to a tangible benefit, improvement. So those that are able to generate an impact, including, for example, institutional changes. So even a policy recommendation can be considered a key exploitable result. And so the point is that the broadest range, but not all results of your project or of your research activities are key exploitable results. Just to give you some example, we received in some applications as a key exploitable result something like 50 participants to an event. Obviously, this is not a key exploitable result. This is a milestone or a KPI of a project, but for sure it's not a key exploitable result. Or just to give you another example, based on, again, experience we had with the first cutoff. Communication and dissemination plan of the project was considered a key exploitable result, which is obviously not a key exploitable result. This is a deliverable. So you don't have to confuse deliverables with key exploitable results, milestones or KPIs with key exploitable results. Okay, so this is the form that you are required to fill in to describe your key exploitable results. So you have to specify the title of the care, briefly describe it. You have to specify a person of the research team who developed the key exploitable result by providing name, last name, and email address, because they are the ones that are directly involved in the service delivery. You have to specify then also the widening action from which the key exploitable result originates. Next slide. For example, here you have a drop-down menu, and you see here which are the eligible widening actions. You have to specify the typology of the widening action and possible also the grant agreement of that project, so that we can verify if you really if there is really a link between a key exploitable result and a widening action. Next slide, an important element to be considered is the link between the key exploitable result and the widening action. This link can be direct or indirect. So, direct, easy to understand. Let's suppose I'm an applicant. I have a widening action running or closed, doesn't matter, and I generated a key exploitable result during the widening action. This is what we call direct link of the care. So it's a key exploitable result directly generated during the implementation of the widening action. However, due to the particular typology of widening actions and the typology of activities that are funded within widening action, we can also consider eligible results, so key exploitable results that are indirectly linked with widening action. For example, let's suppose I'm running a widening project. I improved my skills on a certain domain, biotechnology, to give an example. Then, after, as a follow-up action, as a follow-up step, I'm running another project, research project, with the skills that I got from the widening action. The follow-up project, and in this case, it doesn't matter where is the source of funding, can be national, regional, whatever. From this follow-up research project, I generated a result, a research result, a key exploitable result. That key exploitable result is eligible for the facility because it originated at the very beginning from the skills that I got from the widening action, even if it was not produced or generated directly through the widening project itself. This is important to understand because it enlarges the number and typology of key exploitable results that can be supported. Next slide. Now, after this, you have to specify which is the originating widening action, what is the link with the widening action. So you are required to specify if it's directly generated or as a follow-up, etc., etc. Next slide. You will be required to specify which is the technology readiness level of the key exploitable result. Next slide. You have to specify the domain of the key exploitable results. Next slide. And so with that part, the section 2 is completed. So those are the information that you need to provide for the key exploitable result. In section 3, we ask you to list the staff from your organization which are dealing with research management and administration. So who they are? They could be people working at your industrial license offices, at your intellectual property offices, at your technology transfer offices, European project offices, knowledge valorization offices. So there isn't a predefined definition of what is a research management administration, an RMA. However, these are all good examples of staff which are working in an organization and dealing with exploitation and dissemination. There are services dedicated to them, like, for example, the study visits, trainings, webinars. They can participate also to the delivery of some individual services together with the research teams as a learning experience. Obviously, they will not actively participate to these services because an RMA is not responsible for any key exploitable results generally. However, they can participate to the individualized services because they can see how our experts support research teams, and then they can do the same in the future by learning how our experts are using certain methodologies and tools. So this is why it's important to provide a list of RMA in your application. Next slide. This was the last section to be submitted. At the end, obviously, you have to click on the acceptance of terms and conditions. Especially this relates to the GDPR, use of data. And then you have to click on the submit button to submit your application. Next slide. Once you submitted your application, you can easily check if you successfully submitted it because you receive an email, this message at your email if everything went well. Next slide. Few tips for preparation of the application. As you can easily understand, it's worth to include immediately at the application phase your research teams and the RMAs to compile or to provide the relevant information. My suggestion is to search within your organization, all organization, to search for widening action, ongoing or closed, where you have been involved or as a coordinator or as a beneficiary, it doesn't matter, it's the same, so that you have the full list of widening actions of your organization. And then I strongly suggest to scout for key exploitable results within your organization. So in a university, typically, projects are run by different departments, by different teams, and obviously a unique person generally doesn't have all the information about the key exploitable results. So it's worth to do a scouting action within your organization to have the widest and the widest range possible of key exploitable results that you would like to be supported and that you can submit with your application. There isn't any limit on the number of key exploitable results that you can submit. Obviously, we will select them. So not all of them will be supported, but they will be selected by us. And finally, it's important also to involve RMAs. So please provide the list of RMAs to be included and to be supported. What happens after, once you submitted your application and once the cut-off date passed? Next slide. So there is a cut-off date. Then we will evaluate the application against eligibility criteria and the priorities that are set for that cutoff. We will, within 10 days, we are generally giving a first feedback on the eligibility. So the contact person of the organization will receive an email as a feedback. With that email, we will ask you to provide more details about the key exploitable results that you listed by filling in the so-called exploitation intentions table, which is this one. So you will there will be a table where we will ask more details about the key exploitable results. As you can see here, the level of information generally is available at research team level. So this is why we strongly encourage you to involve the research teams in the preparation of the application form. So you are asked to provide and to submit or to fill in better an exploitation intentions table for each of the key exploitable results. It's not compulsory to provide it. However, obviously, when we evaluate the application, it's better if we have this information, because it allows us to better assess the level of maturity, better assess the real needs of the research team. Okay. Next. Then, once you submitted the exploitation intentions table, we will prepare what we call a service delivery plan. So suggesting you the services that, according to us, are the most suitable for your organization and for the different research teams that you listed. And we discussed this at what we call initial engagement meeting. So we will organize a short call with the person from our staff called key account manager. So this will be your reference point. You will discuss your service delivery plan, and then if you agree with the proposed service delivery plan, we will appoint experts for the service delivery, and we can start delivering the service. You can see also more or less the tentative timing for each of these steps here. It then generally takes not around 1 month from the cutoff to the start of the services. Next slide. Few lessons learned from the first cutoff. I more or less anticipated all of them during this webinar. Many times there was a misunderstanding of the scope of the services. So, for example, we are not providing funding. We are just providing you support. We are not providing advice, so we are not doing instead of you market research. We are not filing instead of you patents, something like that. We are just building your capacities and skills on how to better address all these issues. Many times, applicants thought to have submitted their application as an individual, so for their research team, not as an organization, so not representing the whole organization. So they did, for example, didn't scout all the key exploitable results within their organization. So they provided just a limited number of key exploitable results. In many cases, as I told you, and I give you also some examples, cares were not cares. So they were wrongly identified. And we also noted that the list of RMAs provided was not so big. So generally only one or known names have been provided for RMAs, which in my opinion are still important to be supported if we want to build capacities and skills at organization level. That's it from my side, more or less. Now we can go through the questions. I don't know, Marika, if we have questions or if someone is willing to raise hands. I don't know how we want to manage it.
Thank you, Lorenzo. I believe this was an exhaustive presentation with all the information needed. So we're looking for questions. This is the opportunity to ask. Okay, Stamatia, please.
Hi, everyone. I have the following question. Is there a deadline to apply to the Widera?
No, there isn't. The only deadline is the closing date of the project. So the Widera facility will finish on the 31st of December 2028. So the open call will be open, if I'm not wrong, until
September
2028. So that is the only deadline we have.
Because I received an email saying we kindly invite you to complete the application and submit it before the deadline of 31st October 2025. I don't know, perhaps I opened the draft by mistake in the platform.
I explain you this. Obviously, this is not, as I explained during the webinar, we set some cutoff dates, which are some, how can I say, temporary deadlines. So at every 3 months, we set a cutoff, which is not exactly a deadline, but is a date when we look at all the received application until that moment, so and we start assessing.
I want to be closer to a cut date in order to be evaluated shortly, etc.
Exactly.
You said that the applications needs to be submitted as an organization. For example, in our project, which is a Widera Excellence Hub, under the Widera Excellence Hub call, we are the coordinating organization. The cares, though, are from different partners. Some are commonly owned. So we would apply as the coordinator and then involve them as well?
No, This is why I'm saying when you submit the application, you are presenting the application only as your organization. And
Okay.
through that application, we can support only staff, so research teams or RMAs from your application. Now, you raised a good point. There are key exploitable results which are somehow owned by different partners within a project. However, we don't need to have, let's say, as a research team, the legal owners of the key exploitable result. We need to support the research teams that were mainly involved in the development of that key exploitable result. Okay, if there are others from other organization, doesn't matter. If this other organization would like to submit their own application, they can do independently from your application. However, the services for your application will be delivered only to the staff of your organization.
Okay. So we should advise, for example, partners to reach out to you and apply in a separate form in order for the care they have to receive your services. We have currently defined our cares, just an initial step. We don't have IPR rights yet confirmed and everything. It is an initial stage. There are 8 to 9 cares, scientific technologies and services. So with some are commonly owned, we would advise our partners to reach out to you and apply individually.
Yeah, yes, because consider this, the key exploitable results that you submit not necessarily come from one project.
Yeah.
So you may, as an organization, you may have 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 widening actions. Each of these actions may have generated a key exploitable result. This is could be one of the, let's say, criteria that we keep in mind when selecting the key exploitable results that have to be supported, because as I specified, not necessarily all key exploitable results that you submit are then also supported.
Yes.
However, so at a certain point we have to maybe we will have to do a selection. When we select, one of the criteria could be to see if they come from different projects, because in that case we valorize more projects funded by the European Commission. So, or better, we valorize the results coming from more projects, okay?
Preferable, yes, understood.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
The point is that one of the key exploitable results that you submit can be common, but probably the others are not. And the same will happen with the other organization that you are suggesting to apply. Maybe they have one common key exploitable result with you, but the others are not.
It is clear. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for this question. Well, we reached
the
end of the webinar. I didn't see any more questions, neither on chat nor by raising hand. So I believe you make it quite clear. So thank you very much, all of you, for attendance today, for the questions. Always remember that if you need any additional information, you can contact us. There are plenty of information on our website. If there is any technical issue, there is always a help desk as well. So we encourage you to grab this opportunity and apply for widerAdvance facility. If not in this cutoff, as mentioned, we will be with you for 3 more years. So there is plenty of time. Please scout the key exploitable results in your organizations and apply, whether these are projects from the past Horizon 2020 or current Horizon Europe widening actions. So thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much, Lorenzo, for your presentation.
Thank you.
And yes, and goodbye, and let's hope we see each other during the service delivery. Thank you very much. Bye.